Hello and welcome to the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. The Lakers got it done. This feels like a weight lifted off of the Lakers' shoulders. This was a big win, and I cannot wait to get to the post-game interviews with some of the coaches and players of the Los Angeles Lakers. Oh, man, it just feels like the Lakers are finally starting to figure it out. They battling these different injuries. You have players going down left and right, and some kind of way they got it done tonight, despite the injuries and things like that. I want to kind of start going over the box scores before we bring on the Lakers. The biggest thing that I noticed tonight was the insertion of Marc Gasol into the lineup. From me, Marc Gasol I feel like is a better fit for what the Lakers are trying to do offensively. Watching Andre Drummond, he's clogging up the lanes, and it's impacting LeBron when he plays with him. It impacts Anthony Davis as well. He's just a statue, and he pretty much clogs up those lanes, those passing lanes, and also like those driving lanes as well. As I was saying tonight, Marc Gasol spreads the ball. He's able to stretch the floor, and that works. They barely got this win tonight, but this was despite key injuries. Looking at the box score, Marc Gasol had 10 points in 17 minutes. He only missed one shot, took 4 shots, but he had 10 points, but he was impactful. He grabbed 7 rebounds, which was a team high, which that'll work. He didn't do no more than what was required tonight. Now with Andre Drummond, his numbers tonight in 22 minutes was 2 of 5. He only had 4 points. In 22 minutes, he didn't even register a rebound. I feel like each big man that the Lakers do have serves a purpose. But Kyle Kuzma said it best. Marc Gasol needs more minutes. There's a case for that. You can tell how the Lakers offense flows. Now, everyone got down on Marc Gasol, including myself, in the beginning of the season because he wasn't impacting winning at all. However, there was a caveat when I explained my stance on it. I said Marc Gasol is going to be still needed because he has a certain skill set that the Lakers can benefit from later in the postseason. He's a great passer. He's a great shooter. Can stretch. He's a liability on defense because he's slow on moving his feet. But they're going to need all three. I'm not anti-Drummond. I just think that for what the Lakers are trying to do and how the team is built, Marc Gasol is going to provide the much-needed floor spacing that they're going to need later in the postseason. There's a case for it. I saw it for myself tonight. And I feel like Marc Gasol is going to be playing more minutes than we've been seeing lately because now he's made it abundantly clear that he deserves to be in the constant rotation. We're going to try to see, where the Lakers are right now as far as the post-game questions. Let's see if we have anyone available at this time. Looks like they're still getting set up. We're going to go ahead and add them to the show. Just wait. We're live from the Lakers post game. This is Out of Bounds. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe to the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. Follow us on Twitter. The Twitter handle is going to be in the ticker below. Right now, we're currently waiting on the Lakers to address the media. Great Lakers win. We are definitely excited here at Laker Nation that the Lakers were able to get this done. It feels like a big weight has been lifted. We can definitely breathe a sigh of relief. But we do have the Clippers in a few days, which I'm very excited about that. Hey, I said the same thing. We got a YouTube comment about Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol is definitely going to need the respect he deserves with the performance he put on. It wasn't a lot, but looking at it in depth, in detail, how he impacted this game, he's definitely going to need more minutes on the floor. I'm not saying that we need to pull Drummond, but I just feel like Marc Gasol needs to be in the rotation. His passing, his floor spacing is something that Drummond just cannot provide this team, especially with the two superstars on the floor. AD and LeBron needs those lanes open, and Drummond clogs them. Marc Gasol spaces the floor, and he's a willing passer. So if you have a streaking LeBron going to the rim, Marc Gasol will find him. But if Drummond is clogging up that lane, he's in the way, that's going to impact his ability to get to the rim. I agree with that. I feel like, keep him coming in with the second unit, but give him, good minutes, get him back in the rotation. And I definitely agree with that. I feel like we rushed to judgment, at the beginning of the season. We rushed to judgment. A lot of people was writing Marc Gasol off, but I knew that if we can get the Marc Gasol that I know, the floor spacer I know, the big that can stretch, then I knew that the Lakers could benefit. There was a reason why they got him. And I said this. I said, when the postseason come, when the rubber needs to meet the road, Marc Gasol is going to come up big. And tonight, he showed why he deserves to be in the rotation. Not starting. I still think that Drummond should still start, but I do feel like Marc Gasol should play a bigger role as far as the second unit. If you're just now tuning in, we're now waiting on the Lakers to address the media after the huge win tonight against the Denver Nuggets. Now, this team is no slouch. This team is red hot. They've won their last few games, and they have a bona fide MVP candidate in the Joker. So this win right here is huge. Just dealing with what's been going on with the Lakers. They've only won one game out of 6 lately, and it's just been a free fall as far as the standings. And we're definitely excited about this win, with the Lakers, finally getting it done tonight. Very exciting to be able to stream a Lakers post game after a win. If it's your first time on the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast channel, Please let me know where you're from. Let me know what your thoughts are on the game. If you're new, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, where we're going to drop amazing Laker content. And also, we're covering Mavs and Spurs as well here on the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. Right now, we're currently waiting on the Lakers to address the media. From Guadalupe, all the way from Guadalupe. Okay. Are you a fan? I think the Lakers are still trying to see who's going to be at the podium. I haven't heard anything yet of who's going to be up first. Also, I know a couple of streams ago when I was streaming before, I was asking the audience to be able to, if they had any questions that they want to know, if it's a good question, I'll be able to ask that question if I'm called upon. Man, AD's performance tonight, let's break it down. So in 33 minutes, he was 9 of 19, 1 of 2 from 3.
Hey, Mark, how you doing? Minutes. Can you hear me okay?
So we got Marc Gasol, so here we go.
We can hear you. That's what I thought. All right, we are going to, nice game, Mark. We are going to start off with Mike Trudell.
Hey, Mark, just first wanted to ask you about tonight's game specifically and the matchup with Jokic, what you were focused on defensively and trying to just contain him and make him work.
Well, they run a lot of actions for him. You try to be as physical as possible with him. He does a great job as soon as you kind of get your arms around. Like he does a good job of using it against you. You try to be physical without your arms as much as possible. They've given the ball in many places on the floor. Great player.
And Mark, you came into this game almost 40% from three, so they've been going down. But is there something that you saw tonight about where you were getting your shots from and the rhythm and trying to initiate some offense that way as well?
No, we're just excited about playing. I think I've been a little more aggressive every time I step on the floor the last few games, and I think the ball went in, so good.
And then just wondered if you were aware Kuzma kind of unsolicited just brought your name up as somebody he'd like to see play more, somebody he thought could help in certain aspects. Wondered if you were aware of that, just the kind of connectivity within the locker room.
No, I was not. He mentioned something after the game, but I was not aware. I told him I'm fine. On that Mr. Wolf role. You just come in. Whenever things don't go great and kind of help everyone. So I accepted it. I'll try to do as best as possible at that role. And so, yeah.
Okay, Kyle Goon, please.
Mark, there was that sequence in the fourth quarter where you and Wes were kind of driving. I think there was an 8-0 run between the two of you. And looked like you were kind of celebrating with this little bow and arrow thing. I was wondering what the relationship is like with you and Wes, if your situations have kind of made you each other's allies in a sense. Is that a special relationship for you?
I think we have to, start thinking more as a team instead of, mentioning guys and it's more who we are as a team and who we're going to be. Everyone tied to one another. Regardless of your situation, you play 0 minutes, you play 20 minutes. The team success is everyone's success. So, when you go out there, you try to do as best as possible to help the team. Because if you help the team more times than not, we're going to win a lot of games. So I think, we have to kind of forget about the players and situations and individual guys and think more as a whole of who we're going to be as a team moving forward.
I'd like to ask you a follow-up on that premise. Last night seemed like a very tough night for a lot of guys in the locker room. How much was this win just needed for the group tonight?
Any win is always good. I think, after the news yesterday, that LeBron was not going to play tonight, that, Dennis had his situation, our situation as a team that we, lost, I think, 6 out of 7 games. You have that urgency. And today was great because you felt that urgency as a whole, as a team. You felt it. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't great. The ball didn't go in all the time. But, the connectivity amongst the guys was great, and the cheering for one another. I really enjoy when we work as a team and we protecting one another out there on both ends of the floor. I think that's beautiful basketball.
Okay, Dave McMenamin.
Mark, I just wanted to make sure I heard you correctly. You said the role you play is like the wolf,
Mr.
like
Wolf,
Mr.
Wolf,
like Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
I respect that. I'm not here to say please. What do you do for this team the most in terms of giving a different look, I guess, compared to the other centers that are on the roster, big men that are on the roster? And what's the chemistry like with AD right now between you and him?
I just said that we're not going to mention. I'm going to try not to mention situations, personal situations. I think it's about the team and how we all try to help the team be a better team. That's all. One night it's going to be some guys, and other nights it's going to be other guys. And to me, it's it's about that. So the team does well, we all doing well. You're playing 0 minutes or 35 minutes. You're doing your job every night. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you the things that I can do that other guys can. It's just not good. There's some things that they do that it's impossible for me to do. It's just physically impossible. I could try every day to catch lobs and be above the rim all night long. That should never been that way. And there's things that are that are a little bit different. But it's about the team and how we all put that priority and that goal amongst everything and winning. That's it.
Okay, Dan Moike, please.
Hey, Mark. I hope to see you in a tuxedo soon if you're really going to go full Mr. Wolves. How important you touched on this a little bit, but just sort of the energy that you guys had, the spirit that this team played with tonight. How important is that for you guys to kind of recapture that and have that be sort of an identity during this stretch? It just seemed like there was a level of joy that maybe hadn't been there in a little while.
We have to enjoy the defensive effort from 5 guys at all times. The helping one another when somebody's on the ball. Making sure that he understands that we all have his back. That communication, that help, that rotation, that activity on the defensive end allows us to run. It creates trust. So it all good things happen when you talk, when you have that communication and that willing of helping one another. And Denver is a great team and one of the best offense in the league. And I think tonight we all moved. We all were more physical than we've been in the past, and we felt that urgency. Now you have to carry it on to the next game, and it's what it's going to take. You're going to have to be the most physical team in order to win.
Okay, last 2 questions, please. Bill Oram.
Hey, Mark. When you signed Lakers, you were sorry, I wasn't sure if you could hear me for a second. When you signed with the Lakers, I think there was a thought that this was a matchup with Jokic where you could have a real impact down the road. The Nuggets have been a possible playoff matchup for you for several weeks now. What is it about playing Jokic that you feel like you bring to the table that might give you guys an advantage?
I don't know. Played him, plenty of times. I'm somebody that it's not going to give him. I think Drum did a great job and Trez did a great job too. I don't know. What can I tell you? Try to be as physical as possible. Use my length defensively. Use my strength. He's going to make shots. They give him the ball at every spot possible on the floor with different angles, different screens. They look for him at all times. He has great talent and great vision, so it's hard to help. And on the other end, you have to attack him a little bit, make him think, make him work. So yeah, it's great. Like I said before, he's a great player. Even better person. I would enjoy watching him. I know his family, so it's a good matchup to have.
Okay, and last question, Leonardo Torres, please.
Hola Marc, te saluda Leonardo Torres desde Perú. Felicidades por la victoria. Marc, Michael Malone acaba de decir que fuiste fundamental para el triunfo de los Lakers. ¿Qué tienes que decir sobre ello y los 37 puntos que aportó la segunda unidad esta noche?
Contento de poder ayudar. Básicamente para mí es lo que intentas como jugador, siempre es ayudar al equipo, ayudar al grupo, a que se sienta seguro en los dos lados de la cancha. Como jugador siempre te gusta competir, estar allí vestido de corto y ayudando a tus compañeros, y hoy tuve la suerte de poder jugar.
All right, thanks so much, Mark. Good night.
All right, we do have a question from Facebook. I don't see your name, Facebook user, but the thoughts of Kyle Kuzma played 31 minutes and only scored 6 points. That's not impacting winning. When a guy plays, 30 minutes, let's take a deep dive into his full stats. He played 31 minutes, 2 of 4 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3-point. He had 4 rebounds and 2 assists. That stat line in 31 minutes is just not impactful when it comes to winning basketball games. Kuzma has always been a little bit inconsistent. We know what he can do, but we know that he's going to have games like this as well, here and there. And tonight, they were able to camouflage it a little bit, but other nights when they really need him to step up, it's not going to work. And I'm not sure what's going to have to happen for him to remain consistent. He's just like, he'll give you, he's capable of giving you 30, but he's also capable of giving you like 2, 4, 6, and not really impacting winning. And if you ask me, I'm going to go on record and say this. When they had to trade for Anthony Davis, Kuz should have been included.
Hey, Frank.
And I feel like
we are going to
we should have kept B.I.
Start off with Mike Trudell, please.
Frank, first want to get your thoughts on Anthony Davis and his whole game, but specifically his defensive energy tonight, and if you thought there was a difference from the last couple of games.
I think he's getting, more and more each game in rhythm and getting his legs under him. Obviously his defense was good. He had a big block at the end there. But I thought this was the first game since he's been back that he was really, really decisive, especially early in the game. I thought he set a great tone for us, knowing that Dennis and Bron were going to be out, that, he was going to be in attack mode. And thanks for fixing that Zoom. And I thought he set a great tone for us. But obviously, when Anthony's at his best, he's impacting the game on both sides of the ball, and that's what he did tonight.
Frank, you went to Mark, of course, when Drummond got into foul trouble, and then Wesley back into the rotation with a couple of guys out. What did you see from them, and does that type of play, does that weigh on your mind anymore as you keep trying to figure out who's going to play when moving forward?
Yeah, well, we got a deep team, and everybody has to stay ready. I was happy for Wes, to come in and perform the way he did on both sides of the ball, knocking down shots, but really playing some tough defense, which we missed the last few games. I don't think our defense has been where we want it to be the last few games. And, Mark and Wes are two of our better defenders. So, to have those guys back in there set a great tone for us. And, it's one of those things like we're going to need everybody on this team. We have a deep team, and certain nights your number is going to be called, certain nights it's not. But a great testament to those guys staying ready.
And just to follow up more specifically on Mark, Frank, what you saw from him tonight on both ends.
Yeah, well, we know, we like the duo of Drummond and Mark matching up on Joker. If we saw this matchup in the playoffs, we've seen Mark a little bit throughout the year in the first 2 matchups. Wanted to see a heavy dose of drama on him. I thought both guys did a good job. This team offensively over the last 10 games has offensive rating of 119, and I think it was 96 tonight. And it starts with trying to slow down Joker. He's had some 40, 50-point games this year, and we gave up 32 points and 5 assists, but that's pretty good numbers for what he's been doing to the rest of the league. So I think it started with Drum, and Marc really came in and did a spectacular job defensively on Joker, but also facilitating offensively.
Okay, we'll start off with Kyle Goon.
Hey, Frank, I have 2 questions. The first one is, before Andre got into some foul trouble, were you going to play Marc tonight? Was that the plan?
Yeah, I mean, we were going to use him as the second second option on Joker, and Trez the minutes against their second unit when Joker was out. They played a little unconventionally, I think, because of Millsap not being in there. They typically get Joker out at the 3-minute mark, which is about when we were going to come with Trez. They extended Joker, played him a different rotation than they're used to, but the mindset was that we were going to use Drummond and Marc mostly on the Joker matchup, and use Trez with the second unit, and we were able to use all 3 guys.
Okay, I thought that was going to be a quick question, so thanks. But the second question is, obviously Marc, when he first had to kind of transition his role with Andre came on team, got frustrated, but then said, I'm ready for whatever. Just now, he had a good game. He could have maybe said, I want to play more, but he was talking a lot about the team and how there's a need to stay together during this stretch. What does that do when a guy like Marc, as accomplished as he is, takes that attitude?
Marcus is a winner, you know what I mean? And he understands what it takes to win at a high level, and that type of commitment and sacrifice and whatever the team needs attitude is what's necessary for us to win a championship. And that's what we're asking of him and all of our guys, really. And for him to be in that headspace and that having that attitude is just something that's it's really going to benefit us.
Okay, Bill Oram, please.
Frank, staying on Marc, he has talked in the past, and I think you have too, about him being more aggressive when he has those minutes, being more aggressive offensively. Have you seen him take that to another level in his opportunities, basically since Drummond has got here?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think there has been some games. I remember at Toronto, I think he had a 20-point night or something like that. But it's just part of the evolution of a guy, in his first year with a team. You know what I mean? You find your way. What I loved about Marc before we signed him was that he dominated us twice last year without scoring. He dominated with his defense and rebounding, and I think he had, 4 points and 8 points, but was a huge factor in those wins. So, I'm content with him playmaking and facilitating and carrying the threat at the 3-point line. And, as the season's gone on, he's got a little more comfortable in our system and been more aggressive, and we welcome that.
Okay, Dan Wacky, please.
Frank, he kind of compared himself to a fixer, and that's sort of his role on this team. He actually used a character from Pulp Fiction, but I'm wondering, how do you balance kind of knowing that he is successful doing kind of what you've asked of him now versus the balance of considering maybe using him more in different situations? Are you super happy with kind of the role he's in now? Is that kind of how you envision him? He's
a hell of a weapon. You know what I mean? And, so is Drummond, and so is Trez. These are what they call good problems for a coach. And, Drum's the guy that's newest here, so, I think it's important for him to get as many minutes as he can during this stretch to get comfortable with everything we're trying to do, to look at matchups, and for us to figure out best ways to utilize his skill set, because we're going to need all 3 of those guys.
Okay.
I'm sorry, real quick, Elliot, quick follow-up.
No problem.
Was this sort of a recapturing a little bit of the attitude that you want your team to play with? There was, I think, at the end of the very end of the first half, there was a trap with Kuz and Caruso where Denver wasn't able to get a shot up. You looked pretty excited from where we were sitting. Caruso very excited. Was this kind of the attitude that you want to see from your team more regularly on the court?
Well, that's the pillar of our culture here. We're a defensive-minded group that likes to get after it and make teams uncomfortable and suffocate them on the defensive end. And when you have Bron in there and AD and Dennis, you have the offensive firepower to put up huge offensive numbers. Is why we believe in this group. But it starts with the defensive end. And that's what helped us win a championship last year. It's helped us stay afloat in this stretch while our two top guys are out. And quite frankly, it wasn't really there over the last 5-6 games at a high enough level. But it was terrific tonight.
Okay, we'll just do last two. We'll go with Harrison Fagan, please.
Hey, Frank, you said it again tonight about needing all three guys at some point down the road. And over the last couple of weeks, you've mentioned Marc's spacing as kind of a matchup where he can really kind of give you an advantage. I was wondering what advantages specifically, or what kind of matchups do you feel like Drummond and Trez give you kind of an advantage in?
Well, they're dynamic rollers. If we want to pick and roll teams, and we can potentially do that less with no Dennis, no Bron. But those guys are dynamic rollers, and they provide a lot. They open up a lot of things for our perimeter guys. In that space, and obviously Drum's ability to match up with bigger centers like Marc. Okay. Are good matchups, and Trez's ability to punish small ball second units is probably the best way to use him. So they all have slightly different skill sets, but like I said, we're gonna need all three.
Okay, Leonardo Torres, please.
Hi, Coach. It's Leonardo Torres from Peru. Congrats on the win. Coach, today you guys limited Nuggets to 25% of three-pointers and less than 100 points. How proud are you of tonight's defense of the team?
Yeah, super proud. I mean, we haven't, I'm more disappointed in who we've been in the last 2 weeks, than proud tonight, but definitely proud of how we performed tonight. Like I said, over the last 10 games, this is the number one offense in the NBA since Murray's gone out. They performed at a super high level. So for us to come in and hold them at 89 points is just a remarkable performance, and very proud of our guys.
All right, thanks so much.
Okay.
All right, that was Coach Vogel. So going back to the comments. So I got a question from Dre Anthony. Why did LeBron not play? I feel like the reason why he tweaked that ankle again the last game they played. And I don't know if you saw that last game, but he limped off prior to the end of the fourth quarter. And so just to be, err on the side of caution, the Lakers decided to not play him tonight, which if he's feeling like that, he feels like he's not 100%, then it's a good thing just to shut him down, because you don't want this injury to be lingering on once the playoff starts rolling in. And I think it was a good call for the Lakers to go ahead and shut him down for the night. Definitely paid off, because number one, he got rest tonight, and they got the win without him. So good call from whoever made that call. And it probably was just LeBron saying, I'm not feeling it tonight. But that's a great question. He wasn't able to go because of that ankle. He tweaked it again last game. All right. Got Big Baby on. What's going on, Big Baby? AD tonight, I feel like, like I was saying before, he played 33 minutes. He was 9 of 19 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. Definitely seems like he's starting to get it back together. He was clutch with that block. I'm hoping that AD does remain consistent with his defensive impact, because we know he's a great defender. He's a great perimeter defender. We know what he represents on the offensive side of the ball, but tonight he came up clutch with that block. I feel like he saved the game with the block at the end. Were y'all able to catch the block? I still feel like there's still some work to do, but tonight it was a great win against a great team without LeBron, and we'll take that. We'll take the results, but it definitely was an ugly win, and I'll still take it. But the evaluation of the Lakers after the night, I think they should play Marc Gasol a little bit more than what they've been playing. And I think it was great to see how he matched up with the Joker. I do like the fact that they were able to play all three bigs, and they was able to throw bodies at the Joker. So I think that's going to work because we know for a fact we're going to see this team again, in the postseason. And we have the bodies to be able to throw at the Joker, and they match up great. With guys that, key guys out, I feel like, we match up great with this team. I think so too. I think that if we was able to meet back up with this team in the postseason, we'll be able to get it done for sure. If you're brand new to the stream, you're just now logging in, we're doing the Lakers postgame on Out of Bounds Sports Podcast on my YouTube channel, Facebook page as well. We're waiting for the next Laker player to be able to address the media. But do me a favor, if you're new, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button where you get all the notifications to my next stream. If you're just now logging onto the stream, let me know where you're from. Let me know what you think about the game. Let me know what you would like to have seen in the game, but wish it, kind of carry over to the next game. What would the Lakers need to work on moving forward? What are your thoughts on the chances of them repeating? Let me know what's on your mind. We're Lakers live post game on Out of Bounds tonight. We got some great questions in the stream. We're still trying to get a question in. I had a prepared question for both Marc Gasol and Coach Vogel, but I wasn't able to get to those questions. But hopefully we get a question in and be able to provide some content for the listening audience on the channel. Definitely appreciate the support. But let's look at the Denver Nuggets side of the game, their box score. We was talking about the Lakers, but let's talk about the impact of Nikola Jokic. I like how he plays. He plays the game the right way. How they have him bringing the ball up the court. He's kind of like a point center, if that makes any sense. But in 35 minutes, he was 12 of 28, 1 of 4 from 3. That's just not him. He had 32 points, but he was definitely impactful in his game for his team. Just for him, being there, he's impactful. But outside of that, you had Michael Porter Jr. that was 8 of 15. He had 19 points, 50% from the free throw, 2 of 7 from 3. But he was also a spark as well. Just seeing how he was playing. He's playing a little bit more minutes, which is great for him. I like his game. He's a great impact for this team. Let's see what we got. Well, I've talked about this. I think before you came in the stream. I think he doesn't fit what the Lakers are trying to do, but he definitely can help what the Lakers are trying to do, if that makes any sense. As far as I feel like they got him because they was having a glaring discrepancy on the boards. He fills that need perfectly. But the problem is that when Drummond is inserted into the lineup, he clogs up the lanes. He doesn't move. He's a statue. And when he played in Detroit, I noticed times where if the game didn't go the way he thought it went, he would be on the bench kind of like soaking a little bit. And you can just kind of tell that the emotions of the game and things like that impacts play. And at times, you can just tell that he doesn't go full throttle the whole entire game. He gets, to the point where you get a lot at him in the first half. In the second half, he disappears. You don't know what happened to him. And that's the same thing that we're seeing now. With Marc Gasol, he works perfectly with this system. The ball flows. He's a great passer, great shooter sometimes. But tonight it worked. And it fits. I just feel like they can, like Coach Vogel always saying, they can use all three bigs in some kind of way. They can match up great with anybody. It might be games where you might need Marc Gasol to play more. There might be games where you don't see him play that much. There might be a game where they sit him out. There might be a game where they sit out Trez Harrell. But they're locked in with Drummond because this is a guy that can give you 20 points, 15 boards at any given night. And they're not going to sit Drummond. They're still trying to integrate him. As far as the Clippers, I want to talk about the Clippers comment. Clippers in 5. Us not wanting to see the Clippers. Let's talk about it. The biggest thing that you hear from the Clippers, they're always focused on what the Lakers are doing. They're fixated on it. And that was their undoing last year in the bubble. The problem with that is that you're going to play other teams. There's other basketball teams to focus on nightly. The Clippers should stop focusing on the Lakers and focus on just getting to the second round. They was too focused on getting to the finals, the Western Conference Finals, that they got tripped up by the Denver Nuggets. And they didn't get a chance to see the Lakers. But this year, I feel like they are a little bit more structured from coaching. The addition of Rondo was great. Let's see, because you guys always call us the little brothers. We're going to come big brother soon. It's funny. I mean, I understand your frustration, and I don't think it's their time yet. I just really don't. I honestly, I want to see a competitive playoffs, but for some reason, I just don't see the Clippers, making a deep run like ever. The Clippers have always been the Clippers, and this is just not me just speaking. I mean, if you just look at the history, even when they were great and they was going to the playoffs, they always figured out a way to come up short. And I just feel like, and this is just me, the Lakers is a storied franchise. When you think about the Lakers, you think about championships, you think about Hall of Fame players and things like that. You can't, it's hard for you to associate the Clippers with winning. And I'm not just talking about regular season games. I'm talking about championships. And I don't think this is going to be the year that they're going to break through. I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be difficult for the Lakers to repeat if they don't get this together. And it's just, you just have to really just, really look at these games and dissect them as much as possible. I mean, if you think about it, the Clippers are having problems with Pat Bev. He can't stay healthy. Kawhi's in and out of the lineup. Paul George, we still don't know what he's going to look like come playoff time. And you don't want this to unfold in the playoffs where, like it was last year, they didn't have enough time to play with each other. Now, the comment about Rondo is going to be the X factor for this team. I feel like Rondo is going to be what this team needed. If they didn't need Rondo, if they didn't need a point guard, they wouldn't have went and got Rondo, because with Pat Bev in there, he doesn't do the things that Rondo can do. He can't score. He can't put guys in position like Rondo. And we've seen in the bubble where Rondo has this next level element where he can actually score. He was actually shooting the three. He was the third scorer on the Lakers team in the bubble for them to secure this championship. And if y'all can get Rondo from the bubble, then they're definitely going to make some noise. They might can even get another round out of this team. But as far as like winning the championship, I can't quite see that yet. And I'm not hating. I'm not, just trying to say because, I root for the Lakers. I'm really honestly saying that this year I don't see it. I mean, what did the Clippers do? I mean, a lot of people make that comment about paying to win. If you think about, a lot of the different teams that are re-upping this year. I mean, right now, a lot of guys are moving. This is the player movement era where you're going to have to pay to play. It's no longer like it was back in the day. Guys are going to move, and you got to pay for that. So, that comment is kind of a gray area there. Vince, what's up, man? I see you in the stream. I got a question or maybe a statement. I wish our Lakers played like this last night versus the Raptors. But you're right on Gasol. He's going to step up. Correct. Everybody's on board with Gasol. Yeah, I got you. It's the Lakers. It's having big stars. That's the Lakers. It's the lure of possibly winning the championship, playing with LeBron, playing for that storied franchise. Next question. How do you get Andre Drummond, who was an all-star before, from the buyout market? He's not fair to other teams. Well, if you examine, Drummond's current play, there's a reason why he probably hit the buyout market. If he hit the buyout market, that means that other teams were able to secure him as well. So that comment is kind of head scratcher because everybody had a chance to get Andre Drummond, but the best fit for his situation was the Lakers. But as we see now, it's looking like it's a little bit of a struggle for him to adjust, and hopefully it comes together, come the postseason. Currently, we are still waiting on a Laker player to address the media. Provide some context behind the statement. Exactly. I agree with you on that. Clippers signed DeMarcus Cousins. He could have went anywhere. That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. He could have went anywhere just like Drummond. A lot of people keep on criticizing that. I mean, that, anybody could have signed, these guys. But I mean, every team is doing it. You just can't, get upset about the way the game is played. Everyone is doing it. Yeah, I think he signed for the rest of the season. So I think he signed the first 10-day, and then he signed another 10-day, and then they signed him for the rest of the season. What do y'all think about the play-in tournament? LeBron was very critical about that. What do y'all think about his comments on the play-in tournament? Make sure you get your questions in the chat. There was some other good games that came on tonight as well. Let's try to go over those games. We got Orlando and Detroit. Orlando beat Detroit 119-112. Then you had the big game from Indiana and Washington. I don't know how in the world this game, without overtime, the Washington Wizards had 154 points. Indiana had 141 points. And then if you look at Russell Westbrook's stat line, let's just go over that. In 38 minutes, Russell Westbrook had 17 defensive rebounds, 21 total rebounds, 24 assists, 14 points. He had 24 assists and 21 total rebounds in 38 minutes. That's crazy. You had Brad Beal with 27 points. Rui Hachimura, he had 27 points. I mean, like that was crazy. I can't wait to see what this team is going to be like. Like, it started out really rocky, but it seems like they are figuring it out. If you look at the other side, Karis LeVert, that was a great pickup for them. 38 minutes, 11-28, 33 points. Sabonis, 32 points. And I wish I could have seen this game. This game seemed like it was just great. But that is insane. 21 rebounds for a guy that's like 6'3", 6'4", 24 assists. Like, that's crazy. Like, what do y'all think about Westbrook? Yeah, he did. He did actually say, before he liked the idea, but now he didn't. Like, I didn't like. What do y'all think about that? Shout out to Big Baby. What do you think about that, Big Baby? Big Baby Sports Podcast and the stream. Yeah, I mean, he was upset because I think they lost. But I mean, they was also staring like it's almost like to a point where it's a possibility if they don't get these games, in check, as far as like these ones that are coming up. It was great that they got the win against Denver. So it'll help, but they're gonna have to start stringing together consistent wins, or if they don't want to, if they want to avoid that play-in situation. I think it's like one of those things where if we're not in position to be able to look at like it's okay, it's fine. But once it was an actual reality that the Lakers could possibly be in a situation where they was in this playing situation, of course, they're not going to want to be a part of that. I didn't really like it at first either, but from an entertainment standpoint, I think that it's good for the ratings and things like that, because I think though that the play-in tournament starts like in a couple of weeks, right before the actual playoffs start. Let's do it. Anytime, big baby. We can do a show. All right, so what's this? How do you feel about your championship odds right now? I think you guys are not better than the Bucks, 76ers, Clippers, Nets, or Suns. Well, I mean, if you think about it right now, you're absolutely correct. The Lakers are not playing particularly well. But if I was a bed man and I was just, basically you hold my feet to the fire. Without me being a fan, we have Anthony Davis and LeBron James, and none of those teams do. And with LeBron on the roster in his playoff times, I trust LeBron more than I trust any of those players that on those teams that you just mentioned. I don't. And I would go down saying that. Even if it was playoff times right now, and going into the playoffs, going into any type of situation, I'm picking the Lakers because the Lakers have LeBron James and you don't. The Lakers have Anthony Davis and you don't. Two of the top 5 players in the NBA. Easily. Because we know what they represent as basketball players. This is just one bad season. Injuries is the great equalizer in sports. It levels the playing field when teams have to deal with injuries. Even the Nets. I mean, I like Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is one of my favorite players in NBA. But I'm still trusting LeBron and AD over any team. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, we can go back and forth, about it, but that's just my personal, take on it. Big Baby agrees. So we're just still waiting right now. It's great back and forth. Like, if y'all have any more questions, y'all have any more comments, definitely want to shoot those out. We're going to end the show in just a few minutes. We're just still trying to wait. Top 5 movies right off the bat. My favorite movie of all time would be the Life movie with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. The last Bad Boys movie, Bad Boys 3. That's one of my favorites. Malcolm X. Love that movie. Got to put Scarface in there for sure. I know it's kind of cheesy, but I like Love and Basketball too. Big Baby Sports Podcast
What's going on?
in the building. The Lakers.
What's going on, man? What
do you talk to me?
What's going on?
Talk to me, big baby. What
How
do you?
y'all- Man, it was a good game. Like what we did, and Marc Gasol did his thing, and we fought with the energy, the hustle, that grit, the tenacity. This one right here maybe is a good thing for us. Love the energy tonight. Love the hustle, the grit, the tenacity, man. And you winning in games like this, because Denver's number 3 right now. If you be the 3rd team in the West Conference, that's going to give you confidence. In fact, this game right here is going to lift us. We got the game against the San Diego Clippers on Thursday. Clipper Darrell's been talking. I see his post. He's been talking. He's been raving about the Clippers this season. Have you noticed? Every time Clipper Darrell talks mess about the Lakers, the next night Clippers get destroyed. And every time he does that, he was making fun of LeBron, saying LeBron's scared. He's scared because of the playing tournament, It's like, I understand why LeBron said that. It's because he's probably upset after they lost to the Kings in Toronto. It's like, you say things when you're upset. I say things all the time on Big Baby Sports, and I fall back. I should never said that. We make mistakes. Not even tripping about what LeBron says. Just like you said, if we have LeBron and AD and the other teams don't.
That's facts. I trust LeBron in the playoffs before I trust any of those other teams that have never really been battle tested like that.
100%.
This guy went to 10 finals.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, that means something.
Mm-hmm.
His mindset, his impact on winning, the way he makes other guys better. And a lot of times, as fans, we look at it differently. We look at it as, okay, we're in the moment. We get captured in the moment just because the Lakers are losing. They're not doing particularly well right now. But once the playoffs roll around, they're gonna be just fine.
Yeah, most definitely. We'll be just fine. But what did you think about Anthony Davis's game tonight overall? Like, did you like his aggressiveness? I did. He had 25 points. And after the game, he patted on his chest, said, I'm back. I'm back. So I like the energy from AD tonight. I just like the overall. Kuzma struggled tonight, but hey, Marc Gasol this thing. It was a team effort tonight. I told my boy JT on the podcast tonight, there's got to be a team effort. And it was a good thing. But what did you think about that? I think fourth quarter, we were riding high, and then Frank Vogel puts in Drummond for Marc Gasol, and that's kind of when the momentum goes out the window. What did you make of that?
You're meaning whenever they inserted Marc Gasol into the lineup?
Yeah, and then the Lakers made a run in that fourth quarter. They subbed Marc Gasol out for Drummond, and then that's when Denver got back in the game.
Well, I feel like when coaches make those adjustments and things like that, they see certain things where they can exploit. And you try certain things. If it doesn't work, you try something else. And at that time, it didn't work. So you see that he has to, adjust. You make game time adjustments. That's what the great coaches do. We have a comment. What do you think about Morris right now with AD coming back? Like, how do you feel about how he played? He did not play particularly well tonight. For some strange reason, whenever he's not needed that much or, not expected to do much, he has a great game. But whenever, teams like this, games like this, he shrinks. He doesn't impact winning, whenever this happens. What do you think about Markieff Morris?
Yeah, man, he struggled tonight, but he did have 5 or 6 rebounds, 3 assists. But he was +1 on plus minus, probably because defense. But here's the thing: he's, I think, 0 for 24 in the last 9 or 10 games. He's 0 for 3 from the field tonight, 0 for 2 from the 3-point line. Just keep shooting, man. It's going to fall eventually, man. If he makes it in the playoffs, makes big shots in the playoffs, let's run it at this point. I'm not really worried about him struggling. He'll find his niche. Maybe he needs to get into it with his brother on the court Thursday to get going again. He needs to maybe turn it up a little bit more on the offense side of the ball. Only 15 minutes, only shot 3 shots. Gets the free throw and get your confidence up.
I agree with you on that. The Lakers are deep. They have a lot of great players. It just, just right now it's just their injury rag. They, this COVID, protocol thing. I mean, we needed Schroeder tonight for sure. We needed Schroeder against Kyle Lowry the other night. Kyle Lowry definitely got off, and it's funny because prior to that game, you was talking about Kyle Lowry. We need somebody to stop Kyle Lowry tonight, and you said that before the Lakers tipped off.
Yep.
Before it tipped off, you said, man, Kyle Lowry is going to be an issue. Pascal Siakam, and guess what? Those two guys were an issue, and they couldn't stop them.
Yeah, man, and it's unfortunate, and I did panic after the 2 games, Sacramento and Toronto. I'll keep it real. I panicked and said we're in trouble, and just like Kobe always said, right now we're in the storm. Just put one foot in front of the other, and eventually storm in. I saw that quote today by Kobe Bryant, a video of him saying that, and he's right. Put one foot in front of the storm's going to eventually end, man. It's going to eventually end. The struggling what we're doing right now is going to eventually end. We'll be all right.
I mean, like I said before, I trust the roster. I trust, the 2 guys, 2 main guys, and whoever you get, I don't care who you have around them in the playoffs. I'm still picking those 2 main guys. I mean, you would be crazy not to. I mean, even though they're struggling right now, we're always prisoners of the moment. We're always looking at things, in a panic. And I feel like right now is not the time to panic, because once the Lakers are in the dance, there's no question that they're going to make an impact. They're going to make some noise in the postseason. They're going to figure this thing out. If you listen to all their different, I think the only time that I actually seen them, that they kind of got rattled was last game, because they got punched in the mouth. Kyle Lowry, they just couldn't stop him. They were stuck. I mean, one of the biggest things that I've been noticing too, like especially in the first half, that guys were just standing around, like real lackadaisical, not really moving. Guys don't move too much without the ball, not setting picks and things like that. Like, if you don't have the ball, you need to be constantly moving, And I seen a lot of standing around, and that just seems like the Lakers are just really just tired.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you 100%, man. There's days where we look discomplacent, losing defensive assignments. Sometimes we look like uninterested, lackadaisical, and then there's times where we like to play versus certain teams. We were up 10 against Toronto last night, and then we've always, for whatever reason, when we get up 10 or 15, we're good. We won, and then we're like, oh, we're down. Oh, we lost. So you can't be doing that. You got 14 points, 15, 16, 17. You have to blow by 54 points. Oh, well. Just like Utah did against Sacramento. They blew them out by 54 points, put 154 points on Sacramento.
Well, we got another comment, stagnant offense sometimes. Yeah, I mean, the offense do get a little stale. We definitely would like to see more consistency, but the insertion of Marc Gasol was just genius. I think that Frank Vogel did actually listen to Kyle Kuzma's comment, regardless if he wants to own up to it or not. I think that it was definitely heard around that locker room that Marc needs to play. And you just could just tell how the ball moved. You could just tell how the offense just flowed, how he stretches the floor. I don't think that he needs to start. I still think that they still need to have a rotation, but I think that he needs to be part in this rotation. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Marc Gasol. Kuzma kept it real. Kept it all the way real last game, and he did great tonight. 10 points, plus 17 and plus minus. 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. But, hey, he was at the top of the key, and they would rotate. They would set a screen. He would throw it behind. I just like the ball movement from him, and he shot the 3-pointer really well. And maybe it just has to be one of those things. Remember how last year when we had Dwight and JaVale McGee, short matchups? Remember how Dwight didn't play in that Rocket series? And then if it's like that, we got the LA Clippers on Thursday. Probably Montrezl Harrell's going to play a lot more. But I would play Marc Gasol, switch it. Maybe if Drummond's not playing up to par, throw in Montrezl Harrell for Drummond, switch it. Switch it all the way around. Because Marc Gasol did this thing that I think our momentum was really there once he got out there. After Drummond got that 4th, 5th personal foul, somewhere around there, Marc Gasol came in and dictated it really well.
Oh yeah, I mean, I liked the way he played tonight. Like, if they can get that, there's no doubt in my mind that they're gonna make an impact in the postseason.
Yeah, most definitely.
In my mind. But I'm not sure exactly what's going on with the Lakers stream. I've been waiting for possibly AD to address the media, but I don't see what's going on. I've been refreshing the screen. They're still there, but I'm not sure what's going on. They probably still waiting on guys to, get ready to address the media. But I'm going to go ahead and end the show, Big Baby. I want to thank you for hopping on the stream. I want to thank everyone that was able to come on and actually support. I want everyone, if you're new to the channel, to like and subscribe to the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast. Also, we have another great podcaster on tonight, Big Baby Sports Podcast. He's doing some great Lakers content. He was on tonight doing some post-game stuff. He's on every Laker game. He's just as passionate as I am when it comes to Laker content and things like that. So go ahead, Big Baby, and tell everyone where they can find your show as well, so they can head over there and subscribe to your podcast, to your YouTube channel, where they can get some more amazing content.
Follow or subscribe to my channel, Big Baby Sports Podcast. I have a big show tomorrow night live with Ben Golliver from Washington Post and NBA writer. And subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Big Baby Jonathan. Follow me on Instagram, Big Baby Jonathan _ subscribe. Just subscribe everything Big Baby on all platforms and follow me, man. I got great things coming, man, in the future. I got some big things coming in May.
Can't wait to May. Can't wait to hear you speak to Ben. I've seen him a couple of times on Locker Room. I see y'all interaction. So we're definitely going to be tuned in to that. So y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe to his channel as well. Again, I want to thank everyone for the continuous support to the channel, continue supporting the content that's coming from this channel. Love everyone that's out there. Love the energy. I appreciate it. And we are out for tonight. Peace.
If you love the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast, we'd love for you to